It is terrific to see one of the real legends of Australian Rugby League with us for round one on Monday Night Football. There is Mitchell Pearce. Wait and see how he handles things first up, the incumbent New South Wales halfback. Gets a good platform laid by his forward pack. Might really ask some questions of the Rabbitohs defensive line.
Yeah, Anthony Minichiello on screen as South Sydney make their way down the tunnel. John Sutton. Very important night for him. I think he's up to it, John Sutton, too. Often regarded as a bit of an enigma, John Sutton, but he's got a chance in 2012 to have a consistent season, and they need it from him. And the young half inside him, his experience will count for plenty.
The Rabbitohs were solid without taking a win during the pre-season. They went down 34-28 to the Warrington Wolves at Redfern. They lost 22-14 to the Warriors. They lost the Charity Shield 18-12 in a very tight affair. And there is Adam Reynolds, the 21-year-old local junior who takes over the number 7 role from Chris Sando here tonight. David Taylor on that left edge. He will be dangerous. Taylor, Inglis, King all out there on the left side for the Rabbitohs. Be no surprise if that's where most of their attack is directed here tonight. We spoke about Jake Friend a moment ago, the pre-game. His darts at a dummy half will be important, and his defence. He usually gets through 40-plus tackles in his work and in the average game. And Michael Crocker, who took over so magnificently from Roy Asatasi as the captain last year. We're underway on Monday Night Football in 2012. And they'll bring it forward, the Roosters, through Jared Wairia-Hargreaves, the man who really sparked things up, as he always does, in the All-Stars game on the Gold Coast just over a month ago. A couple of fracas that he was heavily involved with. It wouldn't be a surprise if we see something from that man again tonight. They take it out of dummy half. Minichiello working it up towards the 30-metre line. Mitch Orbison preferred for the captaincy on his return from a shoulder reconstruction tonight to Anthony Minichiello. Lamatasi works it up towards the 40. I'll play it there as it goes from Friend. Up towards the halfway line they bring it. Good set of 6 from the Roosters first up here tonight. I'll play it to Friend as it goes to Mitchell Pearce. That right boot goes over the head of Chris McQueen. In fact, it'll bounce dead in goal, and the Bunnies will bring it back out to the 20. A good, solid first set of 6 from the Roosters.
Yeah, good to get to their kick. You mentioned the left side of South Sydney. What a combination it is, and a lot of pressure on Mitch Orbison, Sam Perrott, Mitchell Pearce, who will line up against those 3.
One. Get up. Come on, Jared. Right side.
The Rabbitohs get their first touch. They play it there through Chris McQueen, the winger. He took the first carry. He's certainly big enough and has at times played in the forwards. Here is Sam Burgess in the front row tonight. Peets comes out to the right-hand side. Pettybourne playing in the role that Burgess filled, in which he scored a couple of tries in the Charity Shield against the Dragons. It's Farrell in the fullback role. And no Nathan Merritt. Asatasi has put the ball down. There was a real collision there. 2 or 3 Roosters involved in the tackle. There was an arm thrust out and has forced the ball loose from Asatasi. Here are the Roosters on the attack. And they take it forward through Nuwasala. Friend, as they play it inside the Bunnies 40. Comes across to Mortimer. His first game in first grade since round 10. Spent most of the second half of last season playing for Wentworth in the New South Wales Cup. Friend gives it off to Carney. Playing on this left-hand side with Leilua inside him. So it goes back to Pearce. Puts it back underneath for Nuwasala. He'll play it about 8 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. A couple of plays left in this set of 6. Off the back of the mistake from Asatasi. They come left. A short ball for Guerra. Pass though from Mortimer, a little bit too strong.
Scrum here.
There will be a knock on and a scrum feed 10 out from the Rabbitohs line.
Yeah, it wasn't great execution there from the Roosters, but it's great to see Daniel Mortimer looking to get involved. Throwing a short pass there to Aidan Guerra. He knocks the ball forward. But they're looking though they're going to keep their role simple tonight, the Roosters. Mitchell Pearce is going to control that right side, and Daniel Mortimer the left. And when you split your halves, the job description then is very simple. You don't have to worry about and thinking about going to the other side of the field. You've just got to get your edge in shape.
Asatasi's still struggling after being hit, and it was Tarsi who put the shot on him on halfway where that ball was dislodged.
Arm around. Get the head in. Feet. Time on.
Reynolds with the work from the back of the scrum. It's Corrigan who will play it, of course. Would have had their hearts in their mouths, the Rabbitohs coaching staff, seeing Asatasi go down after they lost 4 front rowers, Luke Stewart, Scott Geddes, Asatasi, and also Sam Burgess to injury. Great parts of the 2011 season. Here is Burgess. 3 of them in there to stop him, the 2 front rowers with Jake Friend. 20 short of the halfway line. Sutton on that left-hand side finds Taylor. Good tackle by Daniel Mortimer, giving away a stack of size in that confrontation, but he got some help from Orbison. Taylor plays it for Peace. Here's Crocker. Sutton once again, a flat pass. It didn't look all that good. The play, they're going to say, surely a knock on here. It looked as though there was a no call for a moment there, but they did say knock on. They got the call correct. It will be the Roosters again off a Rabbitohs mistake, who get a great chance to go on the attack.
Well, they looked like they wanted to go 2 passes. At least Sam Burgess wasn't expecting the ball. He might have thought he was the decoy, but if you're pushing forward with a man, you've got to expect the football at any time. John Sutton threw the ball straight into his chest, and he wasn't ready for it.
The Roosters win the scrum. BJ Leilua working it up towards the 30-metre line of the Bunnies. Another chance coming up in the opening minutes. This Monday night football encounter. It's great to have Hancock Performance Tyres on board for Monday night football in 2012. So what sort of wheels the Roosters have got to show here from just outside the Rabbitohs 20. Pierce turns it back on the inside for Guerra. Link up here with Minicello, who chimes in. A bit of a gap as Inglis came up quickly. Sutton, though, from the inside stayed with the veteran fullback. They go down the short side. Friend got it back to Minicello. Gives it to the teenager, Cordner. He keeps it alive. Back to Minicello. He had Pierce coming with him. He flips it out the back. It goes back to Rabbitohs. And he goes in. Tarsi scores for the Roosters. Right underneath the black dot. The offloads just kept on coming.
Well, what a start for the Roosters. Michael Maguire said in the pre-match interview it was about holding the football. South Sydney completion rate 0 from 2. They've put themselves under pressure, and the Roosters with the ability to keep the ball alive. That's a lovely offload there by Cordner. Pierce stays alive, and there you can see Tarsi just forcing his way over the line, and that is a tremendous way to start your season.
Terrific work from Mitchell Pearce, who backed off a bit. He knew that the hole wasn't there. Anthony Minicello took him to the defensive line. He had the whereabouts to back off so he could get that pass away. There was a good ball too from Jake Friend. Boyd Cordner was also involved. He's a talented young back rower, Boyd Cordner. You saw him towards the back end, the middle and back end of last year. And Anthony Minicello started it with a quick play the ball.
Well, they convert from right in front and make it 6 points to 0. Rabbitohs, who is eligible for Queensland, as so many of the youngsters coming through are.
Stay inside here.
It was hard to contain from close range after the offloads just kept on rolling from the Roosters. Rabbitohs paying the price for a couple of mistakes at their own end. One by Asatasi, one by Burgess. And here is Warrior Hargreaves. Bringing it back out towards the 20 from the restart. Sam Perrott. Broken ankle in 2011. Plenty of game time.
John Sutton, get up.
Now Warburton. Great to see him back after missing 2/3 of the season in 2011. And as we said in the pre-game show, his hole running, the straight lines that he runs will be important for the Roosters, not just tonight, but throughout this new season. Minicello takes it up towards the halfway line by a trio of Rabbitohs, including Crocker and also Corrigan. Last play for Friend. Fit it for Pearce, who will handle 95% of the kicking duties you'd imagine here tonight, given that Mortimer doesn't have a long boot on him, and Farrell brings it back to the Rabbitohs.
Again, from the Roosters, simple but effective. A lot of dummy half running, a lot of one-out running. But they're running with aggression, working hard on a fast play the ball.
Peets. Now Burgess. Not mistake, it was sure something had Michael Maguire almost coming through the glass of the coach's box. Here's Crocker. Assetasi, in fact, Pettyborn it is. He brings it up towards the halfway line. We'll play with a couple of plays left in this set. Peets. It's in the hands of Farrell. Now here's Assetasi. On the last, they'll kick it from just inside Roosters territory. Reynolds with the kick will pick out Anthony Minicello. Took a bit of a shot, did Reynolds, from Maria Hargreaves, but it was okay, said the referees. And Minicello plays it just outside the Roosters 20. Playing with the lead after an early try from Lamatasi. Here's Perrott. Playing it for Pierce, who goes to the right-hand side. Cordner played an important role in the lead-up to the Tarsi try. Perrott loves to get to dummy half and scoot when he gets the chance. This time, though, he was nabbed by Inglis and nabbed well. Take it forward. Through Nuasala. We'll play it for Friend. One more play here. Pierce again. Kick from the left-hand side. Now floats back to the right. And lobs this one to the in goal. It'll just take a right-hand turn at the death and go touch in goal. A bit unlucky there was the Roosters halfback.
It probably deserved better, Mitchell Pearce. It was a terrific kick. Just got the right-hand turn at the end. Dylan Farrell watched it roll across the touchline in goal.
Here's McQueen getting up and going again, getting a chance tonight with Nathan Merritt out with this persistent toe injury. He just can't shake it off. Now David Taylor, speaking of shaking off, well, now he's lost it. They're going to say it was stripped out by Mitch Orbison. It looked potentially like another Rabbitohs error. Instead, here's Sutton weaving in behind them. Ankle tapped and cut down just inside the Roosters 20. Peets gets the dummy half. It goes to Inglis. Here's Reynolds taking them on. Stopped there by Aidan Guerra. In front of the uprights, 10 metres away. They go back to the left-hand side. Burgess tries his luck. Maria Hargreaves is around the legs. Peets gives it to Assetasi. He puts it down again.
Gee, that was a bad option there from South Sydney. They had some space on the left. They had to move it too. Nathan Peets out of dummy half, decided to hit the flat runner. And here's big Dave Taylor. You just can't combat that size. In the end, he will run over the top of the little man, Mitchell Pearce, out there, who's a terrific defender. Also, Daniel Mortimer. Here's Nathan Peets hoping to put Assetasi in just a little bit of space to get him across the line. Plenty of space behind him. If he holds the ball up and throws it out the back of Assetasi, it's 4 points for the Bunnies.
Well, they've played short tonight on that left side of the field. They've just played short. If they can play in behind, that's the money ball. Because the Roosters are moving off their line, and you have to put numbers on Dave Taylor. He attracts defenders.
Second tackle, Michael Crocker, come on.
Here is Aidan Guerra to play it after a scare for the Roosters. Justin Carney comes in for a run and works it up towards the 40. Trent put a fast play the ball. Now Tarsi. Try scorer, his first in the NRL. Friend comes back to Mortimer. It's to Leilua. Brings it across the halfway line. Pearce at first receiver once again. Crocker trying to get out, put some pressure on him. Got to him. He forced a poor kick from Mitchell Pearce, and as a result, the Rabbitohs have it in very good field position. Sutton has it almost back at the halfway line.
It wasn't the kick that the Roosters were looking for. It should have been a field position kick to the corner.
That's the problem. When you can pinpoint Pearce as the kicker, normally Anasta would be there as an option. They know it's going to go to Pearce with his stronger boot than Mortimer. And Crocker got out that occasion and put on some real pressure. Inglis comes to Sutton. Now Reynolds links up with Farrell. He's got Pettyborn out there. Want to straighten things up. He dumps it out the back and gives it to Reynolds. Pearce wraps him up with some help from Guerra. They're just outside the 10. Here's the Last tackle, Reynolds chipping it across the field. King is out there going up for it. Was Perrott picked up by Taylor. 4 of them there to stop him, and then it is every one of them.
Wait, Greg, wait.
That's outstanding scramble defence from the Roosters. It looked for all money Taylor was going to score.
Crocker will score. How easy was that? A quick tap off the penalty, and the Roosters had clocked off.
Well, it caught everyone unawares. I think everyone in the crowd and also on the field. Sam Perrott up above everybody, just couldn't drag it down. Dave Taylor scoops it up with his right arm. As you said, Laurie, they did a terrific job to drag him back into the field of play and deny him. And then a quick tap from Greg Inglis. Oh, they're asleep, the Roosters.
Great reaction, though, from Inglis and Michael Crocker to notice that they weren't ready for it. And Crocker just hit a hole and forced his way over the line. And that's a good comeback. They started off slowly, South Sydney. The completions were hurting them. All of a sudden, they start to get a flow on in possession. And if you continually give the ball to them down this end of the field, we've mentioned it numerous times tonight already. Sutton, Inglis, Taylor, left side of the field. They're dangerous.
So much size out there in that left for the Rabbitohs. And Michael Crocker grabs his first ever try against the Roosters. And I've enjoyed that, being a former Rooster himself.
What a great pickup, hasn't he, Michael Crocker? Led this South Sydney team so well in the absence of Roy Asatasi last year. One of 5 captains this year.
Now Reynolds, who picks up the goal-kicking duties as well as the number 7 from Chris Sando, adds the extra 2. And after a quarter of an hour, we're back where we began. All locked up. It's 6 apiece this time. A try each. You mentioned Michael Crocker, of course. It was only a couple of seasons ago. You had to wonder just how much football he had left in him with all the injuries. He couldn't get himself on the field for the Rabbitohs. It was just tremendous, though, last year with all the injuries they had in the front row, Stocks especially. Everybody called on to dig deep. Dylan McPherson found himself playing in the front row. Crocker, he spent some time in there as well. Just about everybody did. Here is Burgess bringing it back. Stop me if you can, he says. Tarsi and Guerra did well. Here's the try scorer, Crocker. He brings it out.
Jared, get out! Come on.
They play it just short of the 30. Peets in behind them, goes to Sutton. Front pass there for Taylor. Met by Mitchell Pearce, defending on that right-hand side with Mortimer out on the left. Sutton with the Asatasi. He's had his moments with his hands. Now Burgess once again roaming up to them. Boy, there was some space out wide, and he got a pass away just then. It was 4 against 2. Reynolds will kick. Looking for the sideline. He bit off a little bit too much. Out on the full. They'll bring it back to just beyond the 40.
A disappointing finish to their set after scoring points. Just need to punch it down the sideline. He tried to put it up in the air and off the side of his boot.
Get up now.
The Roosters have it at the halfway line and beyond now. Tarsi taking it to almost the Bunnies 40. Friend waits at dummy half. Pearce to his right-hand side. He puts it back on the inside for Boyd Cordner. The youngster who hails from Old Bar and Taree up there on the central New South Wales coast, the mid-north coast if you like, as Pearce gets it back for Mortimer. Looking for something, coming back towards Peets, who wraps him up. Midfield about 30 away from the Bunnies line. Friend showing it one way, coming back the other. Vinicello, a live wire up there, getting involved, giving it to Guerra. Awful run. His trail to the first grade ranks, Aidan Guerra. 3 ankle surgeries to get him on the park. And one, of course, a one-time Melbourne Storm player who never played first grade with them. Got his chance in 2010 in this game, corresponding game 2 years ago, in fact, against the Rabbitohs. Here's Ings, just beyond the 20. See if they can get through this set without incidents, and that'll help. A penalty. It's in Arona fresh on the paddock, giving one away. Brian Smith won't like that. Just coming off the bench, and he gives away a penalty immediately.
Yeah, it's so important when you play South Sydney because of the big forwards they have. Your discipline is strong and you dominate this part of the field. You don't need to be giving them piggybacks and letting them start their set of 6 in good field position. This is where they come alive.
They come alive when Taylor takes a charge, which is what he does to get it going. Sutton. To Burgess. Looking, always a danger to offload with his size, height. Across the top of the smaller defenders. Now Sutton out the back. Farrell gives it to Wingless. Pearce will ride him towards the ground with some help from Orbison. The combination for the most part has been solid so far. Now Sutton. He goes out the back. Reynolds comes across to Crocker. Angling back in towards the middle of the field this time. They'll play it for Peets. Here's Sutton. Taking it forward, taking them on himself. Pearce was ready for him. So was Arona. There's some help from Tarsi. They take him to ground. They'll have one more play here. Pearce dumps it off to Reynolds. He kicks towards McQueen, who flew beautifully. A magnificent leap by Chris McQueen. He timed it sensationally. And the Rabbitohs have their second.
He'll feel good about that, the young halfback, Adam Reynolds. He put that right on the spot for Chris McQueen, who timed it absolutely perfectly. Just look at the kick here. Couldn't have placed it better. It is so much of an advantage when you're on the move. Up over the top of the Roosters player. Able to come down with it. BJ Leilua.
It just shows you, Brandy, the importance of having good discipline when you've got the opposition down in their own red zone. You give them a piggyback, they're starting a set of 6 in good field position. Tackle 5, they're putting you under pressure, whereas they should be kicking from the halfway or 40 metres out from their own line. Instead, poor discipline, giving away a penalty, down the other end. They've scored the try, and now they lead in this game. But my point, he's a good player, Chris McQueen. He can play anywhere. He can play in the back row, he can play centre, he can play on the wing, but he is in their best 17.
Now Reynolds to try and convert to make it. Converted try the difference midway through this first half. That kicking game we spoke about. With the 4 right there, beautifully weighted for McQueen. That's all we had. The attempt is away to the left-hand side. Spoke about McQueen, his versatility. He's also with a streak, 6 games in a row now. He scored a try in the last 5 of 2011, and here in round 1 in 2012. He was a starting second rower. Those injuries came at one stage there for a month. He was a regular. He's a starting second rower for the Bunnies in the middle of the season. Asatasi and Burgess going down. Stewart, Geddes before that, all the way back in round 1. Here's Asatasi. Get him going once again. Brings it back to the 20. 10-6 it is. The Rabbitohs over the Roosters. Crocker. Laying it for Peets. Coming to Burgess. Pettybourne coming with him. Good tackle underneath by Aiden Guerra with some help from Friend. Now Peets goes across to Taylor. Skips out of the tackle there of Mortimer, who was switched to the right-hand side defensively for the moment. Pearce now stationed a couple in from the wing on the left-hand side. Crocker getting another. Oh, coming in with a cannonball tackle was Myria Hargreaves. And I'm surprised there wasn't a whistle there. A kick, a deflection coming down. A contest here between Asatasi and Friend. And now they'll say
the kick wasn't played at. He turned his back, so you're offside. If it's played at, he's on.
I guess he got him around the hips. It wasn't at the knees.
It was touch and go. I agree.
It was a fine, fine line. Waria Hargreaves taking a real chance there, and Michael Crocker asking the question.
Yeah, if he hit him any lower, he may have found himself in some trouble, but around the hip, I think he'll be okay with that, but he needs to watch it. The Roosters, though, they get a set in good field position.
Here they are through Perrott. They play it 25 away from the Rabbitohs line. A chance to hit back. A chance to take the lead, possibly. Here's Mossy Masoi. Looking it inside the red zone of the Rabbitohs. Playing it for friend. Aorona. Forward in the Roosters lineup. All the Rabbitohs for that. Averages 80 minutes a game. Warrior Hargreaves will give it everything while he's out there. Going for the line right here. He's only a metre or so away. Almost reach out and touch the upright. Friend, a quick pass. Pearce back on the right. He gets to the line. Just about got across there as well.
Tackle 5. You just want to check to see if he got to the line.
In fact, they are going to check it. Adam Devcich, the referee, thinks he might have just snuck to the grass.
He always backs himself from that distance, Mitchell Pearce. Normally puts a step on. That time he just took off for the hole. It's hard to imagine how the ball found its way down there, and I don't think it did, and it didn't.
Well, Mitchell's ready to play the ball. He doesn't believe he grounded the football on the line or over it.
No, he didn't get close, as you can see from that particular replay. Devcich.
Yep.
Just up some controversy yesterday
5.
at Leichhardt.
Tackle 5.
And to make sure of everything. Up in the back of the referees' minds tonight. One of their brethren has been dropped already. Jared Maxwell being demoted after the Tigers Sharks game. The kick across field, looking for Guerra. He goes up above them. And what the Rabbitohs can do, the Roosters can match. A terrific kick by Mitchell Pearce. And Aidan Guerra, after spending time in Melbourne, might have picked up some AFL catching techniques.
Well, both their back rowers for the Roosters are very talented. They're young players, Cordner. And look at that catch from Guerra. For a back rower, that's a tough skill. Rising above, hands up in the air, and brings it down. That's a great comeback from the Chooks.
The key to the kick was the placement too. He didn't kick it right across field to the winger. He put it in a bit of space. And if you see the South Sydney player that was the job was left up to catch the ball, it was Chris McQueen who had to come in off his wing. He just couldn't get there in time. The kick was perfect from Daniel Mortimer. Split the defence and allowed Guerra to get the good catch on it.
And now Mortimer with the kick to add the extra 2, and the Roosters find themselves back in the lead. 25 gone. They lead by a couple. Building Roosters section of the crowd delighted with that.
Don't go early.
I mentioned the injuries, the
Time you're
3 consecutive broken ankles that Aidan Guerra suffered. In fact, they had to eventually take a piece of bone from his hip and graft it into his shin bone to change the angle at which his ankle sits at the bottom of his fibula and tibia.
It's amazing what some of these players go through to get themselves back on the field.
Here's Perrott working it up towards the Roosters 30-metre line. Plays it for Friend. Now Warrior Hargreaves. Revving things up, as always out there, taking a chance not that long ago with an almost cannonball tackle. Here is Cordner. An Australian schoolboy playing it back at the halfway line. On a roll here, the Roosters, good metres out of their own end, off the back of points. Friend, give it across to Pearce. This time over the head of Matt King. It'll bounce down to Dylan Farrell, filling the role that Nathan Merritt was brilliant at in place of Reece Wesser at the back end of last season. You imagine that once Merritt gets some fitness under his belt, he'll be back in the #1 jumper for Mark Maguire.
It's amazing what points can do for the psyche of a football team. Look at the Roosters here. Very energetic, getting off their line. Good contact on Geddes. Their set of 6. They were running a game with energy and enthusiasm.
Pettybourne at the Rabbitohs 30. Pete goes across to Burgess. Stopped there by a runner underneath with Masoi over the top. He just got away with the play of the ball. Sutton it is who does the kicking. Long kick, a bit of height in it as well. Minicello across the face of them. Coming up to make a straight line of it was John Sutton.
Let him go.
He got to him in a hurry. Jason Clark is out there now. Likewise is Scott Geddes for the Rabbitohs. Here's Peets.
Well, they're falling off some tackles now, the Rabbitohs. They look a little bit tired. They're ineffective in their first up hit and stick. Needs to be better.
Taylor, well, now the ball came loose from Sam Perrott. It's either a penalty or an error, and they're going to say a dropped ball by the Roosters winger.
Well, they needed that. They needed that. They'd started to drop off the way they were tackling, and the Roosters were starting to get a bit of a roll on. Perrott getting to his feet, just loses the ball.
Might have been helped out here by the foot of Dave Taylor. Didn't do Perrott too many favours. As it works out, good piece of play as Michael Crocker and Reyes Atasi a couple of kilometres on the bikes back on the bench for the moment. Here's Sutton off the back of the scrum win. Giving it to Pettybourne, who'll play it at the halfway line. 12-10, couple of tries apiece. Here's Farrell going to Inglis, fending away from Pearce. Up there by Orbison and also Cordner. Farrell says who wants it. Finds David Taylor forward. Always willing to put his hand up. He'll play it eventually here as he nudges his way forward. Could have easily been pinged for walking off the mark. Reynolds goes out the back. Pettybourne has Corrigan coming with him, jamming in and jamming well. There's Joseph B.J. Leilua. Farrell comes to Clark. It's away there from the tackle. The attempted tackle of Kennedy, wrapped up by Mortimer. And they've got one more from 15 metres out. Down the short side, Reynolds grubbers, wanting it to stay in play. It'll sit up, it's too big.
He's passed it, long pass.
No!
Minicello showed good patience. He knew it had at least one more roll in it. They restarted back out at their own 20.
Now, they're looking for the quick tap there, but the fact that Anthony Minicello threw the football to the men on the inside, they had to wait until everyone was set. If you're looking for a quick tap,
David Taylor finds himself penalised here. He won't be placed on report. Of course, anytime he finds himself in that situation, he'll be thinking back to the game against the Broncos, in which he served a 5-match suspension for a dangerous throw in 2011. No contact there with the head of Boyd Cordner on the ground. He got his hand down in time to brace his fall, and you would think, from what we saw, penalty sufficient. For the Roosters, and back on the attack. The Rabbitohs' defensive line was faltering before they got that penalty not that long ago in the change of possession. They'll be tested out right here. Here's Kennedy. Missed a good portion of last year with a broken foot. And now Fred Pearce back on the inside for Minicello. The old Melbourne Storm play from Smith to Cronk and Slater. That was Minicello on the end of that one. It almost worked out just as nicely. Here's Friend. A kick. And a restarting of the tackle count. Masoi will take it towards the uprights. Dragged down by Geddes. And also Nathan Peets. Within a metre of the line. Friend comes to the right-hand side. Aruna poking his nose through. Just about got there. Friend fires an awkward ball to Mortimer. Stopping the momentum they had. He tries to duck underneath the big men in the middle of the park. Grabbed by Geddes and Taylor. Friend goes to Pearce. Holds it up. There's the whole run by Orbison. And they'll be checking to see if he got it down.
Well, this is what he does so well. Mitch Orbison hits a hole. And Mitchell Pearce loves getting the football and drifting to that overs line and picking up a straight runner. Does he ground the ball, or does John Sutton, with the help of Sam Burgess, hold him up over the line? And I think they do.
Well, we might have a look at the other angle, but from that one, you would say that he's been held up. Sutton looks to have done a terrific job, because Orbison's found himself across the try line. It's Burgess over the top as well. He's been held up. That's outstanding. That's a great effort from Sam Burgess, because without his help, I think Orbison might have just got the ball down across the line.
Well, saving a try is like scoring one to your team. They've saved 4, possibly 6. They are looking dusty in terms of their hit and stick, South Sydney. They need to be more effective with their wrap, control.
Play the balls here.
Tackle 5, right out there. Wait for
They're
the
not
whistle.
winning the battle
Don't go
of the
away.
collisions at this stage. They're starting to become tired.
Pass.
Orbison plays it. They have one more tackle here. Pearce, they'll put it through the hands. Mortimer goes out the back. He gives it to Leilua. Now he kicks. Some pressure on Farrell, who has to play at it. And he dives to the field of play and makes it back. Good kick in the end by Leilua. Don't know, he was expecting to be kicking it as the ball came out along the back line, but he put a good one in. Now a whistle. And the Rabbitohs get some help to work it away from their own end. The Roosters a little bit too keen to get off their line.
Once again, they needed it, and they've needed the penalties they've received in the last few minutes, because the Roosters have all the time in the world.
Here's the 10 boys.
They've got the bunnies on the back foot.
And it's Geddes. That right arm, extremely heavily taped, is playing with a torn bicep at the moment. A player who's had so many season-ending injuries. He's missed so much game time throughout his career, with a combination of knee reconstructions, torn pectoral muscles, torn Achilles tendons. Now he has a torn bicep, but for the moment, he's going to play on and just see how long he can go for. Jason Clark playing it inside the Roosters 30. Comes across to the right-hand side. Good short ball. Good tackle also there on Dale Tyrrell, who's just out there. Now Burgess, only a couple of metres away. Farrell at dummy half. Feeds it back. It goes to Clark. He gives it to Sutton. He went to put it up. It was played, and if the Rabbitohs come up with it, they do. It's 6 more tackles, and Clark it is who has it. Another penalty for not letting go of the man trying to play the ball. You'd imagine here, down by 2, they'll take the penalty goal to level things up.
That was better by South Sydney in the build-up of that set of 6. They played more direct and started to use their forwards. I think they have been guilty at times of maybe shifting it too much and not earning the right to do that. But when they play short and straight, and then they go wide off the quick play the ball, that's when they're at their best.
Yeah, I think they might have been lucky with that penalty too. It looked like it was a drop ball without any assistance from the Roosters players. They might have got away with this one. It does show you how quickly things can turn around. A penalty, a relieving penalty for the Bunnies, and all of a sudden they come down here with a chance to score, but they'll get 2 points.
Would you have taken this shot?
I'd square it up.
Which is what they do. Adam Reynolds has been solid so far on debut tonight. 12 each between the arch enemies, the Rabbitohs and the Roosters, with just on 6 minutes remaining here at ANZ Stadium in the first Monday night football encounter coming to you this season on Australia's sports leader, Fox Sports. Looks like we've got a good one building right here, as you would expect, between these two. Mitchell Pearce gets us back underway. Go down to Farrell. Give it off to Geddes. Back out to Guerra and also Kennedy. Play just inside his 20. Here's Peace finding Tyrrell. There by Arona. Friend as ever getting through a heap of work defensively. 22 tackles. He leads that tally easily for the Roosters. Farrell plays it in the tackle of Orbison. Inglis gives it to Pettybourne, finding himself over there on the left-hand side of the field for the moment. They come back to the middle, a couple wide. Give it to Jason Clark, former captain of the Toyota Cup team, playing it for Peace. Here's Sutton, looking for the sideline. Bounce away from it, in fact. Minicello is tracking across there, looks up and sees a straight line of red and green jumpers. He'll try and beat them all. Eventually they got to him. Reynolds is there, so was Tyrrell. They drove him back about 5 or 6 metres. Here's Carney coming looking for a big hit. Was it Burgess? Yes, it was. He had him in his sights. He did well, Carney, to stay in the field of play.
I could feel that up here.
Boy, you could hear it up here. Carney. Oh, passes it to Guerra, who puts it down. And the Rabbitohs have a chance to resume the lead.
Wingers in dummy half. When wingers get to dummy half, they need to run the ball. You can't have a winger passing the ball. Carney throwing that one behind. That isn't the sort of pass you want when you're coming off your sideline.
No, it puts your team under pressure.
Maybe the hit before had shaken Justin Carney up a bit.
It was a massive shot, wasn't it, from Sam Burgess? And what a turning point this could be. 4 minutes before half-time, the Roosters making an error.
Wait for the out. Get the heads in.
South Sydney, great opportunity here from the scrum. They are set wide to the left.
Which is where they go. Pete's from the back of the scrum. Gives it to Sutton, who takes them on. He'll use his size against Mortimer and Friend, who was out there in the back line. Played to Pete's. Here's Pettyborn. Good right foot set that he possesses. Friend chalks up yet another tackle. Got some help from Arona and also Kennedy. Now Sutton again at first receiver. Reynolds on his outside. They go to Burgess, who's back playing on this right edge as he did against the Dragons in the Charity Shield. He's a handful, but well stopped on that occasion. Reynolds goes to Sutton. Plenty of space there for Inglis to skip to the outside, which is what he does. Gives it to King, who puts it down. Oh, there was a chance there. If he hangs on to it, he's going to take an enormous amount of stopping.
Well, you were just hoping in that set that they were going to give Greg Inglis a ball, an early ball, and see what he can do, and that's exactly what happened. Well, King scores a try. I don't think from that, if he holds that football, even though there was cover coming across on the inside, and he knows it, Matty King. It wasn't a hard one. He just popped it up for him nicely. Inglis got on the outside of Orbis and attracted the winger.
He looks good when he gets early ball, doesn't he, Greg Inglis? He's just big and fast, strong.
There was space to move. Taylor wasn't out there. Sutton was back in the middle of the field, and really there was only Inglis and King from the uprights to the sideline, and gave Inglis a chance to wind up and use that big right fender. Here's Kennedy now. He puts it down. And the Rabbitohs will come right back at them.
That's a super effort there from Jason Clark. Out of marker. He knew Kennedy was getting the ball, just chopped his legs.
Well, there's been a real change in attitude in terms of the way they've been defending over the last 5 or 6 minutes. South Sydney, they're hitting, they're driving in with their shoulders, and they're forcing errors.
Hold it, boys.
The Bunnies will finish with a full set of 6 when they eventually
Plenty of time. Form up.
get the ball here.
Get a head in.
Rabbitohs complaining the clock is ticking. There is plenty of time for a full set. Reynolds from the back of the scrum gives it to Sutton. Friend again defending out of the scrum, had his hands full. It's the big rangy 5'8", Inglis. He gives it to Pettyborn. He had Tyrrell coming with him. He'll take it down and play it just outside the Roosters 10. They are deep to the right-hand side. Geddes tipping it on. Goes to Reynolds. He gives it to Farrell. Corrigan. He loses it in the tackle of Carney, who came in to put the pressure on. And after making a mistake a moment ago with a poor pass from dummy half, he helps his side protect at least a tie going into half-time, because that should do us for the first half of action.
Well, whenever they've shifted to the right on a big shift, they've had plenty of decoy runners go through, but it's all sideways stuff. No one's straightening it up. There's a completion rate in the last 5 minutes. Neither side be happy with that.
And that's the key, Brandy, when you shift the ball, at some stage, someone has to engage the defender. If you engage the defensive side when they're sliding, and you've got good shape on the end of that of the ball play, it makes it difficult for the defenders to read. But if you continually just shift, the slide just goes across. Shows you the sideline.
Orbison gets crunched by Inglis. And the final play of the first 40 minutes. Welcome back to first grade. Mitch Orbison says, GI. The first half finishes with an exclamation mark here on Monday Night Football. 2 tries apiece. It's 12 apiece as well. We will take a break and come back with the boys upstairs with all the first half highlights right after this. Wait and see if Nuasala comes back out for the Roosters. There is the 19-year-old Boyd Cordner. Been heavily involved so far. 16 tackles, 6 hit-ups, 1 offload. Along with Mitch Orbison on that right-hand side of the field. A bit of an offensive threat. Yeah, look, he's been very good, Boyd Cordner. Of course, that offload was part of the Roosters' opening try. Played an important role in that. Both young back rows have been good. Boyd Cordner and also Aidan Guerra, South Sydney. Get ready for the second half. Here they come. Sam Burgess walking through frame. Really firing up towards the back end of the first half, storming across the field, looking to try and smash Justin Carney into touch. No Isaac Luke tonight for the Rabbitohs. He's been missing. On previous occasions he's been missing. The Rabbitohs have won just once without him. Tied at the moment. 12 apiece coming out for this second half. Let's see if they can try and rectify that record in some ways tonight without Isaac Luke, who is due back next week, serving a 1-game suspension for contrary conduct, making contact with the referee in the Charity Shield. Burgess, numbers are pretty good. Makes all those tackles count, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He intimidates people. High work rate for the first game of the season. Johnny Sutton got some nice touches in the first 40 minutes. So Sydney be hoping for him to get a little bit more involved.
There is the rookie, the number 7, Adam Reynolds.
Stay on Johnny, Roosters!
Rival Live Cup winner with Matraville High. The local junior coming through the ranks to get his chance tonight. Played all his junior representative football with Nathan Peets, who is the dummy half tonight. Rabbitohs production line keeps on keeping on. Mitchell Pearce gets the signal to get things underway, and the ball misbehaves. It falls off the tee. So we'll waste a few seconds here at the beginning of the second half. Somebody's replaced the tee with a bit of a wobbly one. Now we're right. And the kickoff goes down to John Sutton. He gives it off to Dave Terrell, who brings it back out. Good tackle, Tinarawa Rona with Friend, and then around the legs was Mossy Masoi. Geddes, plenty of attention for them in there as he works it up towards the 30-metre line. Burgess playing on that right-hand side, riding shotgun for the moment defensively when they won't have the ball at the moment. Adam Reynolds. Reynolds won't mind that, having Big Sam working from his inside. Geddes at the 40. Is it the Tyrrells? They keep it alive. Sutton comes across to Pettyborn. They play it just in his own side of halfway. Good tackle. Again, it's not the charging Pettyborn. The kick from Sutton goes straight down to Minicello. He racks up game number 228 tonight, does Anthony Minicello. Joins a couple of Roosters greats, Kevin Hastings and Craig Fitzgibbon, to have played 228 games. Of course, Luke Ricketson, the all-time leading game player for the Roosters with 301. Minicello makes it a hat-trick of Hastings, Fitzgibbon and Minicello to have played 228 games. The famous tricolours of the Roosters. Orbison playing, goes back to Arona. Down to Geddes and also Clark. Now Pearce to put it up in the air. So they can put some pressure here on Farrell. Had his moments under the high ball in the Charity Shield. That one just a little too deep, but didn't give them time to get through and put some real pressure on him. Now Mortimer holding down too long in the tackle. The Rabbitohs get more help out of their own end.
Sorry, he's onside. Come on.
Couple of minutes gone. No change to our half-time scoreline. As Burgess gets those forearms up high and tries to bump off Guerra. Also Leilua. Geddes coming across. Bump to the ground there by Friend, who grabs him again. He thought he might have been off for the prize, but he was called to play it. Now Peets charging forward. A good run of about 10 or so, and he takes them on the attack. Plays it for Clark as it goes to Sutton. Puts it back on the inside here for Pettybourne. Hold him up, but it's work it through the forwards and the early tackles in this set of 6. Sutton to the left. Goes wide across to Inglis. He's got as much room to wind up as he did just before half-time when he almost put Matt King in. They'll have one more play. Here's Sutton. Kicking across, looking for McQueen perhaps again. Corrigan can also fly, but Leilua with some good work off the ball there from Carney. Get a clean crack at it and came down with it.
Yeah, from that distance, you need to be putting it on the try line. That was too easy for the Roosters.
2. Upstairs, up. Oh.
Now Perrin out of dummy half, running towards Pettybourne. Got 12 carries of the ball already, Perrin, most of them. That situation from deep inside his own territory. Up to the halfway line. Stopped there by Geddes. We'll have one more here. Minicello looks at Pearce. He finds him on the right-hand side. He chips it over the top here of Matt King. He'll pick it up. Farrell back there with him. McQueen is also there, but he just charges straight at Mitchell Pearce. He takes some stopping as well. And he gets going. Almost Inglis-like with his carries. Now McQueen, speaking of size, they've got someone on either side of the park, haven't they? Oh, wild pass goes to ground. Sutton cleans it up. Kennedy comes towards him. Sutton almost got away from everybody. It was Guerra in the end who only just dragged him down. Now Geddes giving it to Inglis. Taken around the shoulders there by Pearce. That was okay. Inglis goes again. Again, he tries to fend away from the defender. It was Boyd Cordner who had to stop him. What a run by Inglis. Peets takes it inside the Roosters 20. A chance for points here at the opening of the second half. Reynolds will put it in the air. Better kick this time. McQueen coming, doesn't get there in time though.
Running it. Go
and
to the
again,
middle.
some good blocking by the Roosters outside men.
Take it when you're ready.
And that Carney was able to make an easy catch.
Great work there by Justin Carney, but it just shows you the benefit of being able to dominate when you have the football, the early rucks. If you can win those early tackles, you win the set of 6. And you're not put under pressure. And there's a lost ball there from Sam Perrott talking about early tackles. He's made a mistake. Is it Sam Burgess who made that tackle? He's had an enormous impact in this game so far, Burgess. He's lifting his team with his individual efforts, attacking the ball, knocking it out of the arms of Sam Perrott.
Roosters fans will be saying
Second row
have easily gone to them. Burgess playing at the ball, it looked like. There will be a Rabbitohs scrum feed. 30 out from the Roosters line.
Down you come.
He's a wonderful player, isn't he, Sam Burgess?
No question about that. Certainly making a big impact here tonight. Pettybourne plays it to Pete. He goes to Geddes. Speaking of injuries, really is due some luck, isn't he? Good job tonight with that bicep injury. Here is Tyrrell. Takes it to ground midway through this set. 10 metres out. Reynolds double pumps it. Gives it to Corrigan. Comes a couple in from his centre position. He'll play it just 2 metres away from the line. Pearce and Guerra there to make the tackle. Peets goes back for Reynolds. He comes to Sutton. And Pettybourne is outside. That was enough for Sutton to storm through. And the Rabbitohs again have the lead. John Sutton. Hard to stop from that range.
Well, he's threatened to do it. 4 or 5 runs in the first half. He's such a big man. He's so powerful. He can play at the line with the ball. He puts the defence in 2 minds. Good pass here from Reynolds. Just gives him some space. Got Pettybourne on the outside. The dummy to Pettybourne, enough to suck one of the Roosters defenders off him. And a miss there by Boyd Cordner. Johnny Sutton, in his 9th season at the Bunnies, has promised so much for so long. Will 2012 be his consistent year, one that he's been striving for?
Great to see John Sutton running the football. At times he can get into a habit of just passing the ball to Dave Taylor and to Greg Inglis, and fair enough. But at times you need to take the ball to the line, because if you continually just stand and deliver, the teams just slide off. And that's what happened then. They were going for Pettybourne and Inglis and starting to slide, and Sutton just sliced through the defence. Great work by the number 6.
Very kickable one for Adam Reynolds. As the flag's in the air, 18-12, the Rabbitohs over the Roosters. And with Pettybourne riding shotgun, Cordner didn't get a lot of help from the inside there. He was posted on his own, with the outside men having to pay their attention to Pettybourne as they were to storm across. Make it a 6-point ball game here. 9 minutes almost gone in this second half. Shallow kickoff. Jason McCartney taking it straight back to the man who scored the try, and as a result, no depth on the kick. Sutton will play it here, already at the Rabbitohs 30. Peets showing it almost was away. Come to the left and then back through the middle. Jason Clark taking it, developing a very solid back rower, built up massively from his time in the Toyota Company in the under-20s. Here's Geddes playing it for Peets as it comes to Sutton, turning it back on the inside here for Taylor. Just 35 metres out. Great chance to put some real pressure on the back three here of the Roosters. It goes in the air once again. They're chasing through. Minicello puts it down. The Rabbitohs will get it back. Taking his time to pick it up. Was it Nathan Peets who eventually dives on it? I'm not sure why he took so long to pick it up.
And the man responsible for the pressure was Sam Burgess. And they get a penalty, South Sydney. It was the effort from Burgess that put Minicello off.
Well, it was Burgess who forced the ball loose for Sutton to eventually score a moment ago. And Minicello must have had his eyes full of Burgess coming forward. There he is. Came back to the Bunnies. They'll take the chance to make this an 8-point game.
Just did enough, didn't he, Sam Burgess, to put Minicello off.
It's a big effort from the front rower, isn't it? I mean, the ball is placed up in the air. You expect your outside men to chase. Very rarely do you see a front rower getting in a position to contest for the football. And that little sacrifice is earning his team a chance to push 8 points in front.
About 25 metres out, a good strike by Reynolds. He's a sharp shooter. He makes it 20 points to 12. And predominantly Rabbitohs crowd here tonight, warming to the task, finding their voice as their side hits the lead, courtesy of that man. He hasn't scored a point so far here tonight, but he has certainly created some, hasn't he? Playing a big role, no surprise, is Sam Burgess. Shallow kickoff by Kane. Back to BJ Leilua, who goes deep, and had they been better on the dead ball line there, the Bunnies, they could have had a penalty right back at the halfway line.
Well, you need to set yourself on the dead ball line and then come forward from there. That was 50 metres. It just went begging for the Bunnies there.
Here is Inglis. He's back at the 30. A slow play the ball. Nuasala laying over the top of him. Clark takes it up towards the 40. Cordner comes in around the legs with Friend. Anthony Mitchell, who is fresh on the paddock now. Up there at the same time as Friend. Back across the halfway line, off the back of the 2 points. Reynolds, the man who supplied them, for the corner, will bounce down awkwardly for Minicello. He looks up and sees a good chase. Oh boy, and he sees Sam Burgess once again.
It's just all the little efforts that Sam Burgess does in a game. There he is, chasing again. That's 2 in a row. He's got a big motor. He goes all game. And just inspires his team.
Now here's Peets grabbing Leilua with the help of Tyrrell. Drag him back inside the 40. Nuasala had those back spasms in the first half. Is back out there now. A spread to the right-hand side. It comes from Corder. Away to Perrott, who bounces off a couple of them before he's eventually wrapped up there by Matt King. Here's the last. Pearce chased by King. Will go high in the air. Farrell standing underneath it. Brings it back to be stopped at the 20 by Waria Hargreaves and also Daniel Mortimer. Interesting to see both Anthony Mitchell and Jake Friend out there at the same time. It's a lightweight forward pack with that in mind the Roosters are going with at the moment.
Well, he played it like that last year, Brian Smith. Jake Friend pushed into the back row and Mitchell out a dummy half. They double teamed from acting half a number of times and caught the opposition out with Scoots out a dummy half. That's what they do tonight.
They'll need to get the ball and they'll need to get it into good field position for that to be effective. Last play once again here. Michael Maguire's words must be ringing in the ears of Adam Reynolds. He said the teams who've done well this weekend have kicked and kicked long. This time they don't get to their kick. And I'm sure those words are being echoed in the coach's box as we speak.
He'd be disappointed with that, Michael Maguire, but they have changed in the second half. They're playing more direct. South Sydney, in the first 40 minutes, they tended to shift the ball. But in the second period of play, they're playing more direct, getting over the advantage line.
Minicello. The Roosters have a bit of field position to speak of. They've had none so far in this second half. Nuasala. Play it for Mitchell. Goes to Pearce. Play number 5, Guerra. Back towards the middle of the park. Nothing doing there as he runs into a couple of the co-captains in Asatasi and also Crocker. Here is the last. And it's Mortimer who will just chip it towards the in-goal area. It'll bounce up again. A one hopper for Farrell. Brings it back. Stopped there by the man who kicked it, Mortimer, with some help from Friend. Matt King. By Mitchell. Speaking of Jake Friend, it's made his 42nd tackle of the game. We still have 25 minutes remaining. Now Corrigan.
Well, that should surprise you. Last year he was averaging 48.5 tackles per game. He's a workaholic.
There's another one. Make it 43 for the hooker. Involved in that one with Nuasala and also Waria Hargreaves. Sutton will run a couple of metres before he puts the kick in. The Roosters won't mind seeing this go beyond the dead ball line. John Sutton doesn't mind either. It means the Roosters work it away from a set play situation, and they're certainly not in a frame of mind at the moment to be racing back to the 20 for a fast restart. They're sucking in the big ones, trying to catch their breath as the forwards put their hands up through Waria Hargreaves here to get them out of their own end again.
Well, they need a bit of spark. They need someone to do something and light them up. Look at them at the moment. They're congested around the play of the ball. They're just walking forward. They've got poor body language. It's too easy at the moment for South Sydney.
Slow play the ball off the back of Cordner, ending up facing his own goal line. Now Nuasala pops the ball. Mitchell gives it on to Friend, who will duck under the tackle there of Burgess and also Corrigan. 2 left in this set. Pearce will kick early in the tackle count, looking for the sideline, and he finds it. Again, I don't think the Roosters will mind it at the moment because they've done a lot of work defensively.
Yeah, they certainly have. The Bunnies dominating possession. 9 from 10 they are. They've made a great start to this second half in the opening 16 minutes. They've been starved of possession, the Roosters. I think they'll mind walking to the scrum either. Certainly Sam Burgess, after the amount of work that he's got through so far in the match. 23 tackles, 13 hit-ups. And there is the weight of it, heavily towards South Sydney.
Roosters second.
And when the weight of possession goes against you, you hope at some stage it comes back.
Head right in. Wait for the out
And you
call.
have to be
Here come
close
Roosters.
enough in terms of the scoreline. And they are close enough, the Roosters, if they can get some good ball.
See if they can muscle up defensively here and try and force a mistake. Rabbitohs had 52% of the ball at half-time. That number's crept up to 55. In fact, 56% now for the match. Working out of their own end. Pettybourne gets a good ball away. Pete's showing it and trying to go. Grabbed there by Nuasala. Sutton, dummy half. Crocker running into Boyd Cordner. They're going to say a penalty.
That looked like a good hit.
It's the same as the one you guys got in the first half. Mitchell, it's no different to the one you guys got in the first half. Lifting.
Not even close. Not even close to the one in the first half.
Not even a second cousin.
Not even. Did he get above the horizontal? I wouldn't think so. That's just a good tackle.
Boy, you're going to penalise that. You're going to penalise plenty of tackles in every game, aren't you?
They're a bit jumpy, aren't they, on that?
It gives the Rabbitohs a massive leg up here. Speaking of legs, here's Dave Taylor. The biggest in the business. Sutton goes to Asatasi. Grabbed here by Lamatasi. Asatasi puts it down. And the Roosters fans will leap to their feet and say a little bit of justice right there.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't have been a penalty. South Sydney shouldn't have been in that position to attack. The Roosters have survived. But you've got to make the most of your chances and your opportunities in this game. They have had nothing down the other end of the field, the Roosters. They've got to establish good field position. But they've got to find energy.
Make sure you guys bind in tight. Stay until we call out.
And when your team is struggling, you look to your experienced players. Minicello, Mitchell Pearce. You've got to do something here to inspire their team.
I don't know why there's legs moving. I don't know why there's legs moving. No, you can't. There's no ball. Put your legs down and leave them down. Put the ball in. Ball. Put it in. Down.
We got them. So did Justin Carney to take the hit up off the back of the scrum win. Just over a quarter of this game remaining. Mitchell puts it off to Leilua. Good tackle around the legs there. And Sean Corrigan. Now Mitchell to Wade and Guerra. The socks around the ankles. He takes it up to within 10 of the halfway line. Here's the man who scored the first try of the game, Lamatasi. It's a blinding start for the Roosters. Nuasala, good carries by the big men. Strong defence by the Rabbitohs all the same. Crocker was there in that tackle, along with Peace. Now Pearce will put it up in the air. See if they can get somebody to the contest. Minicello coming quickly. Got tripped over accidentally by Crocker. They're going to say that Minicello has taken Farrell out of it in mid-air, but it was completely by accident.
It might have been by accident, but that's why we've got that rule. You can't take the legs of a player in the air.
Might not have been intentional. Might not have been intentional.
Well, he's delighted with John Sutton.
Well, that's an interesting one. Does Sutton push him, or is he just run into him?
Sutton doesn't push him. He collects the back of Sutton.
Does he stick his leg out?
It looked a little bit like Sutton may have just trailed a leg to make sure he had some part of his body in front of Minicello. And Mini, with his eyes towards the heavens, chasing the ball, didn't see it. Just careered into Farrell, who was very fortunate. Didn't pick up a major injury here. He came down on his chest, fortunately, not his head or his neck. Here's Pettybourne. Bringing it back up towards the halfway line. Ain't the difference. The clock working against the Roosters. Still a stack of time for them, though, if they're good enough. They haven't really had a scoring chance to speak of in this second half. Now Burgess. Has been a colossus, loses the ball here and gets up in disbelief that it wasn't stripped.
Well, They just can't put the Roosters away, South Sydney. Burgess attracts 4 defenders. There's a hand on the football there. And that should have been a penalty to Sam Burgess.
He wasn't trying to pass it. He seemed to have a pretty good grasp on it.
I reckon Sam just helped let it go a little bit when he realised Mitchell Pearce had his hand around the ball. Came out pretty easily, didn't it?
You don't take that risk, sure.
You wouldn't think so. Things have flowed the way of the Rabbitohs with a couple of calls in recent times. One went against them. Here's Nuasala. Bouncing off Mitchell, going back for it all. Boy, hit by guess who? Oh, and he gets up slowly as well. Anthony Mitchell looks up and says, oh, I thought it was you. I knew it was you.
He wants to make a difference.
Make a difference? Make a difference in the water table, the way he's driving Roosters into the turf here tonight. Back 30 out from the Rabbitohs line. Here is Minicello. On to Mortimer. He puts it up in the air this time. King standing underneath it again. Nobody gets through and makes a real contest of it. King was able to take it pretty comfortably.
They really haven't tested young Dylan Farrell out in terms of their kicking game. I thought that may have been an issue for South Sydney tonight. His only game as a fullback was in the Charity Shield. So positionally, he would be found wanted.
Potentially so was Corrigan. Works it up towards the Rabbitohs third. Crocker will play it. As deep in their own territory as they have in recent times, Reynolds follows the coach's instructions. Kicks it as long as he possibly can. Minicello gives it off to Carney, who ducks his head. The human cannonball. Brings it up towards the 40. Now Leilua. The Roosters just trying to create something, hoping to produce something here to give themselves a half chance. Minicello sliding as he comes into Corrigan. 3 plays are gone. Here's Mitchell down the short side. Gonna get to Guerra. There's nothing doing. And outside he didn't know it was coming that way. Leilua nor Carney. Now Tarsi in the middle of the field. He's big, rangy, isn't he? Towering over Asatasi as he came towards him then. Pearce hitting the arms free. It went straight to Sutton. He had Dave Taylor with him. Now he loses it and gives it straight back to the Roosters.
Unbelievable stuff. Have you ever seen so many times a player has either been charged down or not got his kick away on 5 tackles in this game?
Now counter-attack by the Roosters. Carney, 2-on-2. McQueen makes a good stop. Just outside the Rabbitohs 30. The Bunnies at the moment defending a man short of their defensive line. Here is Tinarau Arona, who is just outside the 20. Back behind the play. John Sutton with cramp has left them a man short. Mortimer loses the ball. Pushing up, having visions of getting there to score a try. He puts it down within reach of the line.
Cut in.
There's still a man down, the Bunnies, but that doesn't matter now. Daniel Mortimer just dropping the ball. A great opportunity for the Roosters after Sutton turned it over. Back on halfway, Dave Taylor monsters Daniel Mortimer and knocks the ball free.
It's one of his strengths, Daniel Mortimer, is to hit holes. He just hasn't been able to do it tonight with Mitchell Pearce. John Sutton, here you can see him on the sideline. Cramp.
Shocking time to get cramp as the Roosters are attacking the line. They were 1 down. Talanoa couldn't get onto the field quick enough. Eventually got there, but after the Roosters had spilt the ball. Sutton was away after Mitchell Pearce couldn't get his kick in.
Great work by Mitch Orbison. He was chasing from behind. He knew what was required. He made a play at the football, forced the error.
Put the
The
ball
Roosters went on their counter-attack.
No. You've got to get your head in, mate. Come on, right in, mate. Get him right in. Anthony,
Midfield
right
in
in.
the
Head
half
right in.
minutes
Come on,
coming up
boys.
here for
Don't be
both
doing this all
teams.
night. Get your head right in. Ball. It's out.
Matt King it is. Tries to work it away for the Rabbitohs. They're at the 20. Fatuli Talanoa is the player who has just come on the field for John Sutton. He will remain off the moment, still getting some attention. It's about cramping left calf muscle. Cramps have been the theme of the weekend, or they certainly were at Leichhardt yesterday. Unbelievable conditions for the players. Try and slog their way through 80 minutes. Impressive humidity. And dropping like flies towards the back end of the game. Here's Inglis trying to swat away some flies. One of them, Mortimer, grabs him from behind. Reynolds going to keep the flow going. Tips it in behind Perrott. Minicello will pick it up just outside his own goal line. Bring it back out towards Reynolds, and they've got the Roosters exactly where they want them.
Yeah, they should be aiming up here, South Sydney in defence. But it's a great test now for Adam Reynolds with no John Sutton on the field. Playing in his first NRL game. His experienced partner is off the field. It'll be up to Reynolds to guide this South Sydney team home.
You worked his arm. You worked his arm, mate. You worked his arm over.
Let him go there. Let him go after
Well, don't work his arm.
let go of him, and he's still fighting by himself with no one on him.
I think you worked his
Can't
arm.
penalise that.
I did.
There's the Roosters' first penalty of this half, and they just did all the good work after a good set and kick from Adam Reynolds. Cheap metres inside South's half.
Here come the Roosters. After the kick for line was fielded magnificently by our sideline eye, Andy Raymond, who protected the fans behind him and put his body on the line. Here is Mitchell spinning away from the tackle there of Burgess, coming to Peets, and he'll play it 20 metres out from the Rabbitohs line, approaching the 70-minute mark. Here's a Rona going to put a shuffle on. Burgess wasn't going to fall for that, neither Michael Crocker. His indiscretion put them under pressure. Here's Tarsi trying to leap across the top of Peets. They've got 2 plays left. Mitchell comes to Pearce. Ball for Orbison. Well, plenty of bodies in motion down the short side there. Inglis picked the right one. Corner on the last, might get caught with it. Yes, he will.
Well read by Dylan Farrell there. He was at marker. He knew he was going down the short side. Boyd Cordner. Big mistake there by the Roosters not to get a kick in. They haven't forced a line drop out all night. Neither of the Bunnies, but if there ever was a time for back-to-back sets, it was then.
He was screaming for the ball, Mitchell Pearce. He was filthy.
Here is Burgess. He's got his hand on the till as far as the man of the match award is concerned. Should they go on to win here? Asatasi working it up towards the halfway line. Back for Peets. There, a 3-man tackle, Arona, Tarsi, Nuasala are all combining. Unless they can do something spectacular in the final 10 minutes here, the Roosters. Their poor record on Monday night will continue. A kick by Reynolds, another good one, going towards the corner. Minicello comes up with it. It was Reynolds and also Corrigan who led the charge to wrap him up inside his own 10. Again, the same pair, dragging back Daniel Mortimer this time. Carney, he'll be stopped at the 10, and they've used up 3 plays. Good defence by the Rabbitohs as it came off the back of a good kick by Reynolds. The Roosters' Monday night football record, they've won just 4 of 14 since the reintroduction of Monday night football back in 2007. 4 from 15 off the back of this. Farrell, Talanoa, in fact, back there at fullback, charging at them and almost running over the top of Mortimer. He was brave then, Daniel. With Fatuli Talanoa coming like a freight train.
Adam Reynolds has put 2 good kicks in so far. That is his entire focus for the remaining 10 minutes.
Here's King. Got to fend away from defenders. Away from Anthony Mitchell, not Pearce or Kennedy though. Now Peace gives it to Taylor. To saunter up to the defensive line and then try to put the foot down to fool them. Gordon made a good tackle. Now Peace out of dummy half, ducking under one tackle. Grabbed eventually there by Mitchell Pearce. Here's the last. Reynolds again at first receiver. They put it up in the air this time. A chance for McQueen. Not the deepest kick. McQueen feigned a jump. It comes back to Corrigan. Still the last, and Corrigan will go to ground with it.
Use the foot. Hold the 10 here.
Wait for him to tell you.
If he was at practice, he would be aiming for the try line. Get it as close to the try line as possible. He just couldn't do it then. There wasn't much pressure on him either.
The Roosters, by the same token, still working it away from deep inside their own territory. Here's Mitchell. Tarsi trying to fend away there from Nathan Peace. Looks like playing out the entire 80. So does Sam Burgess. It's a massive effort by the front rower. Come to the right-hand side. Here's Pearce. Coming off the back to corner. He'd like it to stay in play. It won't, though. It'll go out, and the Rabbitohs won't mind that.
Yeah, they weren't looking for that. The old corner again. Making the wrong decision at a crucial moment in this game. Looking to go down a short side. Mitchell Pearce wanted Corden to hit that hole. Instead he received it and then tried to put his winger away, and in the process realised that he had nowhere to go. He put it on the toe, went over the sideline. 7 minutes to go. And South Sydney 8 points in front.
Stay there. Right, let's go, South. Heads in, boys. Heads in. Stay in there, Roosters. Don't break early. Down you go.
Stay here, boys.
Feed.
Back on. It's the Rabbitohs through Talanoa. Work it towards Kennedy and Mitchell. Now McQueen. And Anthony Mitchell with his back turned. Poor work by the Roosters markers off a slow play the ball. Really hurt them right there. Geddes is back out there.
They're going to try and force an error, the Roosters. Time is against them.
The Bunnies back at the halfway line, and it's Peace. Gives it off to Sam Burgess. His numbers are impressive. 30 tackles, 18 hit-ups. Plenty of little 1%ers, the players that make a difference. Here's Farrell putting it up. More pressure there on Perrott. It was Dave Taylor coming through. He was inside the 10. He was in front of the kicker, says Adam Demchich. Needing to score twice, the Roosters may well have to go 60 metres here from this restart and score to give themselves a chance.
They have to score in this set. They have to score in this set, the Roosters. It's now or never.
Boy, Taylor got Boyd Cordner, drove him back from where he came. What a hit.
That's what we saw in the morning.
Run into the coal train. David Taylor. Here's Mortimer. Short ball from Arona. Narasana, good hands to get it back to Arona. They take it down within 35 of the Rabbitohs line. They've used up 3 plays. Mortimer at dummy half. Goes to Pearce. He takes them on. Pettybourne got him. It comes out the back to Mortimer. He goes wide. Kennedy needed to link up with somebody else, but he punches it through the middle. And he'll play it. 20 away from the Bunnies line. On play number 5, Mitchell will look for Mortimer. It goes to Pearce. They were flat to the left-hand side. Absolutely nothing doing for the Roosters. It's a similar story back here on the right. Orbison puts a kick in. That was ad-lib. They didn't need that. It was a poor choice, and the Rabbitohs have it through King.
And that was the key, Warren. You said there was no structure at all. They didn't have any shape. They were flat, and that's a sign of fatigue. There was no planning in that set of 6, and it showed.
Now Geddes, the Rabbitohs perhaps just one good kick away from sealing their first 2 points of the season. Burgess, a carry and an offload. It's back to Geddes. They'll just work it forward. would be the instructions. Let's punch it forward. Let's get to our kick. Keep doing what we've done pretty well for most of the second half. Reynolds follows those instructions. He pumps it over the top of Minicello. We'll use up some time on the clock. Make sure that the Roosters have to work it away from their own 20.
Yeah, not a shocking result. That's his team get set for the quick tap.
It's great for young Adam Reynolds' learning curve with no John Sutton on the field. In a tight game, learning how to get his team across the line, learning how to stay composed in a tight situation.
A lazy arm here by Eddie Pettyborn. He caught Carney high. If they aren't done with yet, they'll have one last chance here to keep the game alive. Mitchell Pearce, a terrific kick for line. They'll tap it from inside the Rabbitohs 30. The lead is 8 as Nuasala works it forward. This is the last chance to learn. Pearce comes out the back and gives it to Arona, who works it forward to Peets. And also Scott Geddes. 10 metres away from the line. Mitchell. A couple of bombers coming forward. One of them, Wairea Hargreaves, gets across the line. He has scored, and the Roosters aren't done with yet.
Well, this is just going to waste time for the Roosters. They want to get on with it.
Jared, you want to get out of there. The clock's running. You want to get out of there, Roosters. Clock's running, mate. Get out of there.
Happy, boys?
Adam Devcich points to the spot, 20-16.
10.
Some precious seconds went by. And while the kick is being lined up, there will be time off, as Sam Burgess has spoken to.
The game's on
Plenty
the
of
line
time
here.
for Anthony
Don't do
Mitchell.
anything silly. Don't do anything silly.
Picked up Maria Hargreaves, nice and flat. Bunny's still on their try line. There's the trouble.
Kick is taken quickly by that man, Daniel Mortimer. And what a thriller we have to kick off the first Monday night football encounter of the season. 2 points in it. And there will be time for the Roosters, you would imagine, depending on how quickly the Rabbitohs get back to the halfway line here, and they'll take as much time as they possibly can before the referees call timeout.
Time you run.
But they'll have to go the length of the field.
Get behind it. Get in behind it.
They've given themselves a chance. Farrell with the restart. Make sure he doesn't kick it too long to give them a chance at taking it out on the full. And it's Kennedy who brings it back to the 20. 5 plays left for the Roosters. Mitchell goes to the try scorer. Wairea Hargreaves charging at Crocker, carrying Geddes and Pettyborn with him. The high tackle by Pettyborn in the lead up to the try has proved important, hasn't it? Nuasala dumps it out the back. Arona picks it up. He gives it to Pearce. A chance to come to the right-hand side, which is where he heads. They're chasing him from the inside. He gives it to Warburson. He can link up with Corner. Pouring down the field. He kicks. Minicello! Minicello! Unbelievable! The Roosters have pulled off a miracle!
I can't believe it. They look dead and buried with 5 minutes to go, the Roosters.
We're checking onside.
And is this a miracle?
You've got to be kidding. This is a remarkable effort. Absolutely no hope. Terrific run and ball by Mitch Orbison. Boyd Cordner, who's had his difficulties in the last 15 minutes, gets a perfect kick away. Minicello is onside. He's too quick for Adam Reynolds. Kicks out of the tackle and scores. You're kidding, aren't you? They're 8 down with a minute to go. Minicello gets it down.
There it is, confirmation. We've seen some great escapes in our time, but this might be the best. Having to score twice in the final 3 minutes of the game, and the Roosters have come from nowhere to beat the arch enemy, the Rabbitohs.
Oh, I didn't think they could do it, but it just goes to show you have to play for the 80 minutes. You cannot slacken off. And the supporters, the Roosters supporters, are going mad in the stands. Mortimer converts, but here we go. They kept the ball alive. South Sydney were doing their best. They were holding their line. Mitchell Pearce drifting across, looking for runners. He finds one in Orbison, who cuts back infield. He finds Cordner pushing up in support, and then Minicello. Where did he come from? Great urgency shown to get on the football and score. What a game, what a comeback.
Well, I would think the emotion amongst the fans, both teams, is disbelief. I'm sure the Roosters didn't think they could win. With a couple of minutes to go, being 8 points down, needing to score twice, hadn't looked like scoring in the second half.
You're never done, especially in this competition.